people will believe it too. They've been programmed with all of the movies and TV series, and they're ready for something like that, and they don't have the natural aversion to it. Someone who has been raised up with a traditional biblical view would have of something like that. They don't have the wariness.
Yeah, they don't know prophecies. They don't know not to be deceived by it.
Yeah.
And that's why everybody, no matter how scary the book of Revelation seems, they need to read it.
Mm-hmm.
They need to get in that and read it so they know the events of prophecy, so they know that this thing is way out of timeline, because the New Jerusalem doesn't come on earth until after the 1,000-year millennial reign, and we head off into eternity. And of course, you've got all the different sects out there, everybody arguing over if there really is a 1,000-year reign, and all the arguments. But people need to get into the Bible and read, so you have a timeline of events.
I had asked one of the people that go to these mega churches, I said, where do you stand on these issues? I said, I don't, it's none of my business, but I said, I'm curious. And he said, well, we don't discuss that. We don't really think about that. I said, not at all? He said, no. He said, we're mostly concerned with social issues and building the body and serving seekers. I said, well, isn't it important to you whether we are in fact or are not in fact, one way or the other in the end times? Or no? He said, we just don't think about it.
Yeah.
I was rather shocked.
And that's basically what I'm hearing, too, from people in the churches today that are led by the wolves. They don't talk about prophecy because it's negative.
Mm-hmm. All of them have read that the LaHaye books, and they say, well, if something happens,
we're gone.
We're gone. We're going to a good place.
And he's a 33rd degree Mason, and he lulled millions of people to sleep. He reinforced that pre-trib rapture ideology with his books, and they even know it's a farce. And so all these Christians and believers think there's going to be this huge mystery rapture that's going to whisk them off the earth before any of this happens.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just not true. It's taken me years to even open up my own parents' eyes to that, And there's just no mystery rapture. People are going to go through persecution. In fact, the guillotines are going to be another huge test on the earth for Yahweh testing his people as to where their loyalty lies with him.
Mm-hmm.
There's always been a testing ground. People don't see that. It's always been a testing ground. It's always been a battleground.
Mm-hmm.
It's between, Yahweh and Lucifer. Who gets whose soul? And most people think that they're going to be Yahweh's when he says they're not mine. They don't do as I say. They call me by my name, but I don't know them. They're not mine. Mm-hmm. Lucifer gets all them on default. Narrow is the gate. People don't realize how narrow it is. You can love the Lord all you want to, but if you're not doing what he says, you're not his.
The stakes are so high.
Yeah, and you know what? There's so many people that are just coming back to him, and that's fine. Ignorance will get you by, so as much as you are seeking him for the truth, so that he can teach you what the truth is, and lead you into doing the things he wants you to do. He knows your heart. But so many people in churches today are just so complacent and think they know it all. Mm-hmm. As they celebrate the Easter bunnies and the turkeys and the Santa Claus, Satan Claus, they're clueless.
I've noticed so many people will take various Oprah phrases and incorporate them into their Christianity, like there are many paths.
Oh, she's New Age.
Oh, boy, she sure is.
Isn't she into Buddhism now? Wasn't I reading something about her the other day in Buddhism?
She's gotten very heavily into channeling.
Oh, yeah, well, that's very New Age.
Both before her shows and before her excellent performance in that movie, Beloved, written by her friend Toni Morrison. They said that she actually channeled the spirit of someone before she filmed it.
Yeah.
And whether that's publicity or she actually did.
No, she's actually into it. I was reading something the other day. She's really into this stuff. And I guess for $500 million you can buy your own channel. She got to see it. I don't think she was always that way, but you know what? Money does silly things to people.
Money usually destroys people.
Yeah, it
does.
It's
a sad thing.
All these rich people are just so miserable, and they all get so deceived and on their way to hell. And then all you see all these Christians, whining and crying. They need money. Mm-hmm. They want money. They want this. They want that. And they just don't see Earth as the battlefield it is. We're not here to enjoy ourselves. I mean, yeah, if you can get enjoyment out of it, it's fine. But this is a battlefield. We're all sent here to war in the last days, not become a part of the system. We're to stand against it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that brings a lot of misery and suffering and feeling like you're on the outside looking in. And you should feel like that because this isn't your home.
Mm-mm.
You know? So, yeah, it's a bad feeling. And, yeah, I feel sorry for Oprah and you know, whatever. Maybe I'll send her my book, and she'll put me on her show.
That's a great idea.
I'll send her the aliens on the Internet one.
That is a great idea.
If the UFOs over the White House don't get her, maybe the aliens on the Internet will. That'll be out in about 4 weeks.
Uh-huh.
That cover was great. Joe Montano did the cover design, and I'm real excited about that one.
It's a great-looking cover.
Yeah. It's attention-grabbing.
In fact, the one with the alien over the White House?
Yeah.
So many people, if you mention Sherry Shrine, oh, yeah, I've seen that. It's with the alien over the White House.
Yep. You know, Rick Mazzuti, who runs StarGods.org, designed that graphic for me when I first made that website.
Wow.
And it's just stuck with me ever since. He's been a friend for years. And he's got a great site at StarGods.org. And he's the one who just revamped my site at SherryTalkRadio for me. I try to make it a little bit more navigatable. I always come up with these insane websites, and people like that to scroll all the way down forever. That's just how I am. So,
well, it makes it fun.
Yeah, you never know what to expect on one of my sites. You know, and I think the most fun I've had all year long was putting a top 10 list of things the Pope learned when he died.
Oh, that was hilarious.
But that was one of the most fun things I've had all year long. I got absolutely no comment about it from anybody. That's how somber the whole Christian community was about the Satan's general dying.
Yes.
And I don't think I got one comment on that, and that was the most fun I had all year. You know? And people can look at it, Sherry Talk Radio or thewatcherfiles.com. It's the top 10 list of things the Pope learned when he died. Yeah, I had a ball with that one. And I put a big picture of him at the Watcher Files site of him in his Santa suit. So people can get the correlation with Santa Claus. The whole thing is just disgusting. It disgusts me. You know, and just a lot of people ask about Ratzinger, and I've been doing a code on Ratzinger. He is going to abandon the church, so something happens. I think we're going to see some destruction coming, and me and Zeph were talking about it earlier, about some, you know, it's time to play the cards, guys. Let's play. Because I'm getting tired of all this foreplay, you know. I want to get to the main scene here. And so a lot of things could happen, especially in the short reign of this Pope, because he abandons the brethren. So something happens. Maybe Rome is destroyed, bombed. I'm not sure. Really, you know, I've got 2 codes of him to work on, and nothing is really giving me any, you know, conclusive info as to why he deserts the brethren. But he's one of them to begin with. He's not some innocent, oh, they're being mean to me. He's a Christian, you know what I mean? He's not a victim. He's a player. He's a player for the New World Order. He doesn't get much more evil than the one who just died is.
There's a wonderful old film out Anthony Quinn made in the 60s called Shoes of the Fisherman. And an unlikely fellow becomes Pope, and he decides after looking at the world scene that he's going to give away all the wealth of the Catholic Church to the poor, horrifying everybody.
Oh, that would be like John Paul I, who wouldn't go with the program and they killed him.
Yes.
I wonder if that was.
But if you ever get a chance to rent that film, it's
hey, maybe it is, because you know what? John Paul I wanted to expose the fact that the Jesuits had their own bank, and it was like a mafia bank thing running out of the Vatican.
Yeah.
And he wanted to expose that.
Yeah.
And so they killed him.
It was very sad, yes.
And they always seem to come back, especially the Freemasons, because there's a lot of Masons that write movies and produce them. And they always put their agenda in these things.
Boldly, yeah.
Yeah, they do. Like, I remember, what was it, the X-Files? And how they introduced their concept, because